it's big. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts, and that's because she has a lot of different policy proposals. And, I think that's what's important to consider here. I mean, if you take any one of her proposals, there's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad. We can debate it. But I think it's increasingly important, given all of the things that she's now put out, that we consider this in its totality. So she has a housing plan. She has a clean energy plan. She has a plan for child care. She has a Social Security reform plan. She has Medicare for All plan. And each of them have tax proposals attached to them. So, all of these things will conflate with each other, have impacts on each other. And to really understand what's going on now, I think we need to consider it in its totality. Picking off one of the proposals, I think at this point would be a mistake to try to understand what she's trying to do and whether she'll be effective in doing it.
But is there any part of her overall that you think would promote growth? I mean, this morning, Jim, Carl, and I were talking about her plan to ban fracking through executive order. Wouldn't seem to me that would be particularly good for economic growth. You can go through any number of other things. All right, maybe the Chamber of Commerce says 26 million jobs. That's certainly overstated. But is there anything in her plan that you think would actually have the ability to increase economic growth?
Yeah, let me give you an example. I mean, take the housing plan, right? We have a crisis in affordable housing. Vacancy rates across the housing stock are at 35, 40-year lows, and they're falling, and it's all at the low end of the housing market. So low-income, moderate-income Americans can't afford to live in close to where they work. So she has put forward a proposal to fund the Housing Trust Fund to help promote more supply of affordable housing in places where we need it, in urban centers where vacancy rates are very low, rents are very high. And she funds that by pumping up the estate tax. Now, in my mind, if you take that proposal, just that one, that's probably a pretty good proposal. I mean, it's addressing a very significant problem, restricting economic growth, reducing mobility of the population, which is key to the strength of the American economy. And she's paying for it. It's paid for, so it's not adding to budget deficits and debt with a higher estate tax. And in my mind, if you want to tax high-income, high-net-worth households, that's probably a pretty good way to do it. That's the most effective way to do it. So that's an example.